we need to have a conversation about the SEC and the quote unquote SEC bias. Now, at the top, I think the bias is kind of warranted. I think there's in the AP poll, there's like 6, 7 different teams that are from the SEC. They all look pretty good this year, so I don't really have a problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is that the SEC is so regarded as top to bottom. Everyone's good and they're solid, and the bottom of the SEC can compete with and beat the bottom of any other conference, or compete with the middle tier of any other conference. Guys, the bottom of the SEC this year is straight trash. Florida, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt are god-awful teams. Florida, it's just the best way to describe it is just a colossal mess that's going on in Gainesville right now that will likely get sorted out and mitigated over the course of the next 4 months or so, maybe even shorter than that. Mississippi State, something similar. Jeff Lebby comes in to take on a new team that has just been gutted and was really operating at pretty high capacity under Mike Leach, and then just a tragedy happened after that. But since then, man, they've been brutal, and this year, by God, they are awful. They just got toasted by Toledo. They got blown out by Arizona State. Like, they're not going to be competent in any game this year. I don't know if they can beat a Power 4 opponent. I think they might be the worst team in the Power 4. And Vanderbilt, and they just lost to Georgia State. So they're losing to G5 teams as well. And like a Georgia State, they're like fine this year. They're really not all that great in the G5. So these teams in the bottom of the SEC, they are horrible. And they would lose to a lot of the bottom dwellers of a lot of the other Power 4 conferences right now. So the SEC bias, I think, is a little inflated. I think it's deserved at the top, to be frank. But, man, this conference is really not as deep as it has been in previous years. Followed